So you know how cigarettes come with those scary warning labels? Caution, may cause lung cancer, heart disease, and death. Well, some college degrees should come with similar warnings. Caution, may cause crippling debt, career disappointment, and possibly moving back in with your parents at age 30. But hey, at least cigarettes only cost $10 a pack. These degrees cost $50,000 to $100,000. And even more if you count interest and opportunity cost. Factor those in, and they often cost $250,000 to $500,000. So today I'm going to be giving you the warning labels that colleges won't. The 5 most regretted degrees according to people who actually got them. Not according to me, not according to some theory, but according to real graduates with real debt and real regrets. Now, I've been researching this stuff for years. I've analyzed all the data, I've looked at all the studies, and I've talked to hundreds of college graduates, and I've seen the tears of people who realized too late that they've been sold a dream that turned into a financial nightmare. So consider this video the warning label that you never got.
That sign can't stop me because I can't read.
One that might save you from becoming another statistic in the student debt crisis. So let's get into it right after you absolutely obliterate that like button with number 1 on the list, which is fine arts. So this is where you spend 4 years and a small fortune learning how to paint pretty pictures and make sculptures. And the jobs, well, there's gallery assistant, there's art teacher, or my personal favorite, struggling freelance artist. So why do people regret it? Well, a Reddit user put it perfectly. I regret it. My art did improve significantly while I was there, but I graduated into the Great Recession with $75,000 in debt and an $800 a month student loan debt payment. And since there was a recession, there were no good jobs for recently graduated art students. So I worked 2 to 3 low-paying jobs just to barely scrape by. Now there are like 1 million fine arts grads and like 7 jobs. The market is absolutely flooded. And most successful artists never even went to college. They were just good at art, and then they did a lot of it. Crazy concept, right? College is great for learning certain types of skills, but you wouldn't go to college to learn how to ride a bike, right? You would just get on the bike and ride it. Maybe with some training wheels, but eventually you'd take those off and you just learn to ride by doing it. And there's a lot of skills out there that are the same exact way. And one graduate shared, I went to art school and got a degree in painting and illustration, and out of 40 or so people I knew from the program, exactly 0 make a living as a full-time artist. Let me repeat that. 0 out of 40 people actually work as artists. That is a 0% success rate. So would you invest in a business with a 0% success rate? Hell no. And the worst part is that art schools sell this fantasy that you'll be the next Picasso. But the reality, you'll be designing logos for local plumbing companies while drowning in debt. And that's if you're lucky. So getting a degree in fine arts for most people is not a career path. So please don't do it. Number 2 is gonna piss a lot of people off, but it is psychology, and specifically psychology at the bachelor degree level. And man, this one breaks my heart again and again because so many people fall for it. Listen, psychology is super interested, and a lot of people will say, hey, I'm interested in how people think. Cool. 150,000 other students take this degree every single year. And the truth is, psychology is one of the top 3 most popular degrees with over 150,000 grads per year. And that is a massive supply with very little demand. And the jobs for these bachelor grads, research assistant, case manager, which is basically the psychology equivalent of being an intern and going and grabbing coffees. And you'd be lucky to even land one of those positions. Quick break. All right, listen, I'm doing something that I've never done before. For the next 7 days only, I'm giving away free YouTube channel audits, something I normally charge $1,000 for. And in this audit, we'll figure out where you are right now, where you wanna be, we'll make a plan to get to where you wanna be, and then we'll see if we're a good fit to work together or not. But here's the thing, I'm only doing this for 1 week and then it's gone forever. And if you're seeing this right now, click the link and book your free audit before spots run out, because we'll only be doing this for 5 people. But only do this if you're serious about growing and making money on YouTube. So yeah, book that call down in the description in the pinned comment below, and do it fast before the spots run out. And we'll see you on the call. So why do people regret it? Because here's what they don't tell you in the brochure. 73% need to get a master's at least, or in most cases, a doctorate to actually work in psychology. And that's like buying a car and finding out that it doesn't come with the wheels or the engine unless you pay double. And one psych grad left a comment on my video saying, I graduated with a psychology major and 3 years with a low-paying job forced me to get a master's in social work, and then another 10 years of low-paying jobs ended with me going back to school for my MBA. I wished I would have seen this video 20 years ago. So this person spent 13 years trying to make their psychology degree work before giving up. And that is 13 years of their life wasted because some college counselor told them to follow their passion. Another viewer says, I'm a social worker with a BA in psychology. and I'm going back to school for accounting. Limited jobs available with a psych degree. Accounting is everywhere. It is the engineering of all businesses. Do you see the pattern? People get the degree, they can't find work, then they either have to go back to school for something practical, or they have to go to grad school and pay for a very, very expensive degree. And usually, even more than that, they usually have to get a doctorate just to be able to get a decent job. It's a trap, guys. The psychology market is like a game of musical chairs with 127,000 people fighting for 10 chairs. The odds are not in your favor. So many psych grads are forced to get a doctorate or take up a completely different career path, making them drown in even more student debt. It's borderline criminal. Seriously, the American education system is absolutely broken, and it should be illegal to sell these degrees to people without a warning label. Now, by the way, guys, I don't want to be completely negative here. If you're interested in psychology, there are tons of completely free resources online. For instance, you can take psychology classes from world-renowned experts that are professors at the best schools in the world. We're talking Ivy League universities, and you can take it completely free online and learn all about psychology to your heart's content. And I have a master list of these resources. We're talking classes, courses, certificates, certifications, and they're either completely free or extremely affordable. And you can check out that list by clicking the link in the description and the pinned comment below, and I always try to keep it up to date as well. All right, number 3 is communications. And there is a reason why they call this the athlete's major. This is the degree that you get when you need to stay eligible for sports while putting as little effort into your classes as humanly possible. That should tell you something right there. And the possible jobs, if you're extremely lucky, social media coordinator, PR assistant, basically jobs that any human with basic social skills could do. No communications degree required. Now, I can't imagine why people regret this. Well, first, it's way too general. It's like ordering food at a restaurant. What kind of food? When employers see this degree, they have no freaking clue what you can actually do. What specific skills do you have? What problems can you solve for them? Just like this one graduate said, I didn't have good job options when I graduated. Then when you get let go for no reason at all due to poor economic times such as recession, companies for communications are so picky, they won't hire you, so it's harder to find a job in the field, even after graduating on top of low-paying jobs. And another communications grad left a comment on my YouTube video. They said, a few years into my career, I restarted from the bottom in an IT job, and over time worked my way up to management. At no point did my degree matter, as in I didn't need it. Technical certs got me a lot further. Luckily, I avoided college debt. So think about it. This person spent 4 years of their time, but they got lucky and they didn't have to have any debt. But they still regretted it. And they still had to start from the bottom anyways. And communications degrees are some of the most regretted because they promise that you'll learn to be a great communicator. But guess what? Communication is a skill that you learn by doing, not by writing papers about it, right? It's another one of those skills that's like riding a bike. You could read every freaking book on riding a bike. You could watch all the videos on YouTube about how to ride a bike. You could study Lance Armstrong. You could hire Lance Armstrong as your coach and have him talk you through how to ride a bike. But until you actually get on the bike and try to ride it, you are not going to know anything about riding the bike. And there's so many skills out there that are just like that. All right, guys, I'm getting worked up. The next one is going to be drama and theater arts. But I want to be on Broadway. Yeah, and I want a pet unicorn. And according to my sources, drama grads make about $41,000 a year, and 31% of them need advanced degrees just to get those low-paying jobs. And what are those jobs? Theater assistant, drama teacher, or let's be honest, waiter, bartender, Uber driver. And most of the reasons that people regret taking it up is the student loan debt, again and again and again. One graduate shared, as someone who went into debt for acting, OP is 1000% right. There isn't a degree in the world that will help you get jobs in this industry. Take classes, get involved locally, or just say it and go for broke in a major market. The debt has ruined me financially, and it has affected so much of my mental health. Absolutely never ever pay for a degree in acting. And here's another graduate who painfully regretted it. $166,000 in student loan debt. I wish I could slap my younger self. Started with AMDA, and then I was told by my parents, you need a degree to get your bachelor's. Went to Five Towns College for a BFA in theater. Worked for a few years, then went to NYU to get an MA in educational theater because they realized they didn't want to be a high school theater teacher. Then they went to LIU Post for an MFA in acting. And they said that they're currently unemployed, but they work as an office PA for TV shows. Yep, I up. $166,000 in debt and working as a PA in an office. That's like buying a Ferrari and using it to deliver pizzas. And mind you, it's so competitive that even being amazing doesn't guarantee that you'll make a living. Success in this industry depends on talent, yes, but also a whole lot on connections and luck, none of which come with a 100K diploma. And the harsh reality of acting is that it's probably the most competitive field in existence. There are literally millions of people trying to make it, and only a tiny fraction ever will. And drama schools will sell you on the dream, but they don't tell you the odds.
Quick break, this video is sponsored by me. Most of you don't know that I actually have my own coaching program on personal branding and then growing and making money on YouTube. And this is good for complete beginners, maybe even people who just want to get a job by growing their personal brand, all the way up to people who are very advanced on YouTube. And they get to work directly with myself and my team to help them reach their goals. Now, we are opening up 3 to 5 spots, and this is pretty rare. We usually don't have these open. We usually only limit them to select people. But we're opening up 3 to 5 spots, and you can check those out down in the description and the pinned comment below. And in this program, you'll get to work directly with myself and other people who are highly successful on YouTube. Just as an example, Sean was able to go all the way from being stuck, not making very much money on his channel, to making over $500,000 a month. Now, that's an example of one of my more advanced students, but there's lots of examples of people who started off from scratch and they got to 5K a month, 10K a month, etc. So check that out down in the description and the pinned comment below.
All right, guys, last one on the list, liberal arts and general studies. This is the I have no idea what I want to do with my life, but my parents are making me go to college degree. And to be frank, one who is in the field literally left a comment on my video which says, the job market is not even better. Everyone is not hiring. And this was a liberal arts graduate. And that is why people regret it. It's the educational equivalent of studying Wikipedia for 4 years so that you know a tiny little bit about everything, but you don't have any specialized skills. So you spend $100,000 to read some books and write some papers that you could have just done on your own without paying $100,000, and employers are like, cool story, but what can you actually do? And this is probably why employers are just confused. One graduate that commented on my video said, my experience is that a general studies degree is the booby prize, awarded to people who can't hack it in a major that they had chosen, who then rack up a sufficient number of credits in classes that they get good grades in, and can then graduate with some sort of degree. At least they get something for the time and expense that they expended, instead of nothing. And one hiring manager expressed, I am immediately disappointed when I see such a degree on a resume. To me, and a lot of other people in my position, all of whom have gone to college themselves, we are too aware of what it means when you get a general studies degree. It speaks to indecisiveness, a laissez-faire attitude towards life, and a general lack of desire to challenge yourself. That is how employers, decision makers, hiring managers, etc. see it. They see it as a participation trophy, as proof that you couldn't handle a real major. And if you guys want to be safe, just remember my golden rule. Never get a degree with the word studies in it. Ever. Getting this is just a waste of time and money and will lead to a regretful life. Every single person I know with a studies degree is doing a job that they could have gotten straight out of high school, but with debt. Lots of debt. And guys, here's the thing about regret. It comes down to looking back and thinking, damn, I wish I knew what I know now. Well, now you do know. You can't claim ignorance anymore. I just handed you the cheat codes. These degrees aren't just regretted because I say so. They're regretted by real people who spent real money and got real debt with little to show for it. And I have read thousands of comments from graduates saying the same thing. I wish someone would have warned me. Well, someone just did. That someone is me right now. And look, I get it. Art is beautiful. Psychology is fascinating. A lot of these degrees are extremely interesting. All I'm saying is don't pay $100,000 to study them at a university that's selling you false promises. The system is designed to make you think there's only one path to success, which is college. And a great way to dip your toe into a lot of different subjects is to just take the free resources that are offered online. And again, I have a master list where I've compiled a bunch of different free courses, free classes, and certificates and certifications that are either free or extremely affordable. And you can check that out by clicking the link in the description and the pinned comment below. Don't become another statistic. Don't become another person crying on Reddit about how much they regret their degree choice. Because the most regretted decision isn't choosing the wrong major, it's ignoring warnings just like this one. Now, I don't want to be negative on this channel, even though I know these negative videos do extremely well. I also made the 5 least regretted college degrees video, so you know which ones people went to college for and actually don't regret them. And you can check that video out by clicking right here.